The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope every wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night is the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle, inside of an enigma, trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
Why do you look like you're like here under duress, Jay? Like you look like you are a hostage.
You know, I really did have it in my head to just do something quirky, and I had to fight. So that's what happened. That's how I look when I'm fighting quirky.
I felt bad. I was looking at you. I was like, let him go. Set him free.
I don't know. I really just wanted to say nanu. Like
you should have done that.
Nah.
Yeah, man. And then all the friggin' senior citizens would have got up and clapped. They would have messed around and clinked their canes on the ground like that boy's good. That boy's good. Next, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He is our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
Damn, but Nanu.
What was that button supposed to do, Oz?
No, I was muted. That's my mute button.
Oh, okay. I thought I didn't realize. Got it. I was like, I didn't know if you were trying to play a sound effect or something and it didn't work, and then you just went with Nanu. But Nanu was still funny. But
well, the first one was way better, but it was muted, so you didn't hear it.
Got it. Okay, that all makes sense. There it is. Look, Oz is like, only a fool sees a good idea and chooses not to use it, right? There it is. Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength, the Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
I might be having audio issues, so let me know if you hear him. I too was gonna say something quirky, and then my audio started cutting off.
Oh, you sound fine.
Yeah. It did something off camera right now, but we'll see. We'll see if it continues.
There it is. Okay.
Audio is a good word for Wordle because you get 3 of your vowels out of there.
It's true. Audio is a good word for Wordle. That's a nice shirt, Mo.
Thank you.
I'm sitting here like, I feel like that might be the most color I've seen you wear in probably like 2.5 years.
Most comic booky thing or most colorful?
No, colorful. Like I'm just trying to think of like I can't like it's wild because I'm like, when's the last time I've seen you in that much color? I'm like, I can't remember.
Yeah, it's really, really rare.
Yeah.
For Comic-Con I had the bubble shirt that I wear occasionally here on the show, but that's again, I only wear that either like twice here on the show and then once at Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's the shirt where I lost you because I was looking for you and I was just looking for the dark spot in the audience.
Yeah. the dude that always hooks us up with the American University of Health Sciences where we did our WinterCon stuff, he's like, oh my God, like when he saw me, he's like, because I'm always wearing black.
Right.
But he's like, right. People don't, I can hide in the crowd that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, it's not even like it's Superman with his glasses. That's Mo in a multicolored shirt.
Yeah.
Don't even look like him.
It's like the opening splash page for was it Spider-Man #1, right? Like the McFarlane art.
Yeah.
And it's best $20 I ever spent.
There it is. There
It was a
is.
gamble because it was an ad on Instagram.
Ooh.
Yeah, by a company called Uni. So like,
Wait, so you clicked that and you were like, I'm gonna buy that shirt.
hell yeah.
I was like, man, if that $20 is gone, it's gone. But
Yeah.
if I get that shirt, life is good.
Yeah. And I bought a couple like that. I got that Venom one that I always wear, the black one, the Eric Larson coat. So I got a McFarlane one, I got a Larson one, and I just need a good Humberto Ramos one.
Ooh, yeah, man, that would be really cool. So, as for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today because we are going to be talking to you all about the new Disney Plus series and the latest installment in the Star Wars universe, Ahsoka. So we're going to be talking about that. We are also going to be talking to you all about Babylon 5, The Road Home, a new animated film that adds to the Babylon 5 canon. So we'll be doing all that. And of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. And we'll tell you how it is that you can do that in just a moment. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, this show would not exist. So thank you, Scott Rubin. And with that said, let's have the intern do her thing.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
FantasticForum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Thank you, intern. Yeah, like she said, fantasticforum.live. You can call in. You can jump onto YouTube, or you can jump onto Twitch. We'll take your comments directly out of chat and bring them into the show, such as Jay. Can you insert a witty chat comment here for me, please? First, good sir.
Tiger Claw says, "What's up, Fantastic Forum? Did you guys see Blue Beetle? This is a character that will be part of the new DCU."
Yeah, Willie though. Willie. We're gonna talk about that next week because Lawrence doesn't like us talking about stuff when it comes out and is fresh in people's minds. So
right,
we're
I want it stale.
We're holding
I
it.
might push it back one more week,
like Ahsoka.
We really gotta wait till people stop caring, which technically is now anyway. So
damn Oz.
So tune in next week, Tiger Claw, and you'll hear us talking about La Cucaracha Azul.
I was actually reading an article on why the movie performed so poorly. And, of course, it's mostly comes down to the strike and the lack of promotion, which sounds fair.
Yeah,
I read an article about it. Oh, sorry, Jay.
Oh, I saw it in theaters. So
did you like it?
I didn't hate it. It was better than Strays.
Look, Blue Beetles cleared that high bar. better than Strays. They're gonna put that on the back of the DVD.
Jay, Fantastic Forum.
What were you gonna say, Mo?
Well, no, I read an article that said that the failure of this movie is going to make it so that we get less Latino representation in popular culture. And yeah, it is, but it's almost like threatening. Like, if you guys don't, because if it fails, this is what's going to happen. And it's like, that's just, it's kind of like, it's a weird concept because it's really like, it just, there's a lot to pick from in superheroes, and then it's like, what quality of movie are you doing? It's not like they made, even when they make something like the closest thing to like maybe like a Godfather or something like that would be like a Scarface, but it's still like that's not not really Latinos doing it, right? Or at least not everybody in it, so. But yeah, so it just depends on how you do it. Like representation doesn't have to be in superheroes. Here it does, but that article is dumb for that because it's not like, especially now, superhero movies aren't the be all end all for anybody. Like it used to save, there was a time where it saved people's careers. you know. And
Mhm.
now there's a little bit of a lull, but that's really any kind of fiction, really. Like we make it a trend. You get the meat out of the watermelon, then you get all the rinds, and to grow another watermelon.
If there's a superhero movie and you're basing your choice on whether or not you're going to go see it and buy that ticket on the skin color of the main character, then you've got some serious priorities screwed up at that point. 'Cause I don't
Well,
care. I
what-
don't care if he's black, white, green, purple. You know, if
Blue?
I'm not gonna see Blue Beetle just because the guy's Mexican. I'm gonna see it because I want a certain story, and I want it to be good.
You
But you
said you
don't feel
did
like
see it already, right?
What's that?
Did you see it already?
I saw it.
Oh, okay.
I paid extra money. I saw it on a bootleg IMAX.
I did too. Actually, I'm curious about your opinion because I didn't expect there to be so much cord.
wait,
That
but
actually,
we're supposed to be doing this whole thing next week. So
how
you
dare
know,
we talk about superhero stuff on this? On this
I'm
show?
just saying, like y'all act like y'all don't know what we're doing next
Lawrence
week. Like
doesn't
y'all,
want representation. I
you're gonna
start
do the
talking
whole,
about
you're
the
gonna do the
Mexican,
whole,
and you know,
you're gonna do the whole segment for next week. This week, I mean, hey, we can call it audible. I don't mind.
you want
But
to laugh in representation? There you go. Lawrence hates it. He's squashing it like la cucaracha.
La cucaracha azul.
Quick preview for next week. The Ted Cord stuff made me happy, and I wish it was a Ted Cord movie.
Oz, see, now it's interesting, Oz, because what I was going to ask you though is, you know, you said, "Hey,
Save it for next week,
priority-
man.
Yeah, now who's extending the segment? Oh my god!
I wasn't going to talk about Blue Beetle itself.
Oh.
I was talking about the nature of the comment that Oz made."
Oh,
Like I'm not, because you're saying, you know, if you know the skin color of the main character is a determinative factor in whether you go see a movie or not, your priorities are messed up. I was just more of the idea like, well, doesn't that depend? Because I mean, you can't be mad. Like, say, you know, obviously we know the Blue Beetle, and we know Blue Beetle in multiple incarnations, right? We know that there is a young Latino Blue Beetle, and for us, that's par for the course. But so our main concern is you need to do it right, make it good if you're going to do that, right? But for the average person that doesn't even know Blue Beetle exists, right? And they see a young Latin superhero, like, is it wrong for, like, say, a young Latin kid to be like, man, we don't really get a lot of Latino superheroes. I would like to see that. There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
no.
Yeah, it kind of is.
What's wrong with that?
It just feels like you're basing your decision on skin color. I don't think that's a good
It's
thing.
not, they're not basing decisions. They're more, it's an added bonus.
And
It's
God, I try not to talk about this movie because
but I'm not asking you about the movie. I'm asking.
actually felt kind of insulting.
No, I get it, but
movie.
we don't have to talk about it specifically. I'm just saying in general, like in the same way how there were people that were excited that Namor was Latino, right? And you know, I mean, I'm with you in the sense that because I like to see my characters look like what they look like on the
See, now that's a whole different
comic.
thing though, because Namor doesn't look like that in the comics. Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes does look like that in the comics. That's a little bit of a
Right,
difference.
yeah, but see, you keep going back to the specific though, but I'm talking about general things where I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, it's like there were people that were drawn into going to go see Wakanda Forever specifically because they were like, oh, it's like a Latin Namor. I want to see that because you don't get to see a lot of Latin superheroes.
And that's why you get crappy movies.
But what I don't understand, like but Wakanda Forever wasn't crappy. And then on top of that, it's like, okay, and that's fair. Hey, if that's how you feel about it. But what I'm saying is, like Latin representation, that doesn't make for a crappy movie. It's like that has nothing to do with whether how good the movie is or isn't, right?
That's kind of what I said at the beginning too, where it's like it's more about what the movie is.
It could see
in addition to that.
When I hear representation, it's not just that the character is Latino. Then they're gonna do what they think is Latin. You know, they're eating tacos and doing this and doing all this stuff that like takes it to makes it into like a parody, a cartoonish version of, in this case, a Mexican family. On top of that, it goes back to the whole thing where, yeah, this character may be Mexican, but they're trying to represent all Latin people. Not all Latin people are Mexican, and some people would be insulted if you call them Mexican.
And they're technically more American, right? Because they're American Mexican.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is you don't have to, like, I think what you're talking about is ways that people get it wrong. And what I'm saying is, like, you could have, like, you don't have to have a Latin superhero and they have like strong, I guess, cultural, overtones to the character. They could just happen to be Latino. Now,
but they don't do that. Is the problem. That's my problem right there. Is they don't just do that.
You don't watch the stuff where they do that though,
because it's usually
like, otherwise you would watch Riverdale.
What?
Because Veronica, like her whole family's Mexican American, and they're not eating tacos. They're not. They speak in Spanglish every now and then, but it's mainly for like emotional moments, not for parody. And the dude's like not a gardener. Like he's the head of a financial firm in New York.
I'll tell you what I do watch: Superman and Lois, where the Lanes are not Lanes, the Langs.
Yeah.
The dude that Lana Lang married is, I think, Mexican, kind of Spanish speaking. And the daughter, like, she'll throw out the Spanglish all the time.
Yeah.
Especially when talking to the dad. That's a fine example of a family right there. It's not, they don't take it too far.
Derek
H says Oscar self-hate makes me sad. No, but and I think but that's
me sad.
What makes you sad?
Derek's life in general, just where he is.
But I guess the whole thing where it's like, I think it depends. Like, I do think you're right in your statement where you're like, if I feel like if you're like, say for instance, if you're like a white person and you're like, I'm not gonna go see that because it has Latin people in it as the main character, that's kind of messed up. But if you're a Latin person and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go see that joint because it has Latino people in it, like, I don't know, like, I don't see any problem with that, especially considering that it's like, it's a rarity. It's like, it's like, especially considering, like, just like there's people that are talking about the movie and how it didn't do well specifically because they're like, oh, like these cultural overtones that they tried to toss in here, are no good. And it's kind of like, well, that's kind of wild because it's like, I mean, to mess around and just be like, oh, well, it's too Latin for mainstream. It's like, I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet.
I've read at least 10, 15 different articles, each saying a different reason why the movie failed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably some combination of all of that.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I think the cultural overtones is actually would be at the bottom of that,
okay.
because this movie had way bigger problems.
People love Taco Bell.
Like, I mean, it's like even saying like, oh, having you say like having Latin family come there all eating tacos. It's like, we live in America. Like, everybody eats tacos. Like,
yeah.
It's like weird that it's like, why is it that when a Latin family does, it's like, oh, they're trying to shove this Latino stuff down our throat. It's like
he looks at tacos like you guys will probably look at somebody making black people eat watermelon or something in the movie. I
mean, like I'm saying, like a lot of people eat watermelon too, and it's like, like the sad fact of the matter though is like, if we look at that and we have a problem with it, it's because of America's history, not because there's anything wrong with Latin people eating tacos or Black people eating watermelons. Yeah. It's like, this is more about, and don't get me wrong, you can do it in a way where it is messed up and racist and insensitive, where where it's just like, okay, like, why are they doing that? But I doubt that anybody's eating tacos like that in Blue Beetle.
You're asking a lot of questions and making a lot of assumptions for a dude that hasn't watched it.
I don't think I asked any questions.
Well,
I don't know, and I don't even know that I made any assumptions. I think I just stated an opinion. Did I ask a question or make an assumption? I'm sorry. What did I ask?
Opinions are based on assumptions that we all create in our head as we state our opinion.
I was on that popcorn.
I know, right?
I don't know why you guys.
It's like you're assuming that Latino people can eat tacos like normal people. I know. It's like, I mean, I don't think that's an assumption. I think that's just an opinion. I don't, but okay. Hey, we can move on because we're gonna. Lord knows you're right. We'll come back next week and we'll talk about Blue Beetle. And man, it sounds like that's your preview, folks. It's gonna be heated next week. Here it is. So okay. Oh, we have a caller. Oh Lord, Derek H. Tell the people where you're calling from, what you want to talk about.
I'm calling from NoHo Bo. I haven't gotten around for NoHo yet, but
it's okay. Work on it.
North Hollywood, California. Just by chance, I saw the we call it the weekly movie grosses, and I could have swore I saw that Blue Beetle was number one at 25 million. Is that wrong? Did I get it wrong? Did they not do that?
No, it is. It is the number one movie right now, but it's still a flop because it costs way more than like it costs like a few $100 million.
Yeah, 25 million probably doesn't even.
Yeah, it is the number one movie, but it's
one week, guys.
It also came out the week of a hurricane.
Yeah, there's a hurricane in California, which is wild.
Also,
and all the stars, all the actors are on strike. So there was no promotion for it. So I think it did pretty good. Like I'm not like Oscar going around hating on Mexican people just because it didn't break $1 billion in this first week. I don't know what you guys were expecting, but I thought it did good.
Doesn't matter what we were expecting. It's what the studios were expecting.
Yeah,
25 million is a failure to the studios, especially when Barbie, that's been out for 5 weeks now, did 21.
So it cost $104 million to make.
It'll make that back. So
it might not, Derek.
You really think it's gonna drop? You think it's not gonna make in the next 5 weeks? It's not gonna make another 75 million? I think it will.
I don't think so.
The way things work now, there's no word of that whole my big fat Greek wedding thing doesn't really happen anymore.
I mean, it'll happen for some things, but
it's rare. It's not
it's gonna actually thrive once it gets to video.
I'll put it this way: Shazam was supposed to be added to this new DCU, depending on how the movie did. It made 30 on its opening weekend. What do you think is going to happen to Blue Beetle? It's not. They're done. 25 on the opening.
Everybody's expecting in-game style openings now. That's what you need to have a hit movie.
No, but you gotta
that's what it sounds
perform to it. Nah. I mean, listen.
You don't think it has legs? You don't think it's gonna be around for another 2 months?
No,
I don't think so.
There's nothing else out.
Derek, have you seen the movie?
No, I don't go outside.
Exactly. That's why they didn't make any money.
I'll go outside.
That's why they didn't make any money. So stop complaining about the movie not making any money when you didn't contribute.
I haven't seen.
I've done more to help this movie do good than you.
You hate yourself.
I will say, in the next couple of weeks, the new Equalizer is coming out, and I think that is going to do better than Blue Beetle.
Equalizer 3 with
does that mean that the studios hate black people now too? If it doesn't open at 100 million, are you gonna say black people can't open movies? Is that gonna be?
I mean, let's put it like this: Equalizer's definitely going to do more than 25 million, like just on Denzel alone.
They need to do a crossover.
How much?
Equalizer.
I think even by next week, I think Gran Turismo is probably gonna knock Blue Beetle down.
No. Yeah. Nobody's gonna go see Gran Turismo.
I saw it.
A NASCAR movie? What?
Nobody's gonna see that.
I saw it.
About a poor kid that wants to be a race car driver, and his father's like, "You can't be a race car driver." I want to be a race car driver, Dad.
Yeah, but it's based on a true story. Like the actual guy that did that is in the movie. He's a stunt driver.
Look, I was in that little contest they had for Grand Prix.
Apparently, you sucked.
And I'm not in that movie, so I don't see how true life it is.
I'm surprised.
Well,
are you going to wait for that to come to video on demand, Derek?
I don't even think I'm going to see it at all. I'm old enough now that I can go without seeing a movie. Unlike Tiger Claw, who I'm sure who already saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie like 5 times.
But Derek, you love cars.
I do.
Yeah, but I
love cars. I love movies. I love car movies. I don't need.
They're too loud. You're too old.
I don't need
too loud
anymore. I'm sorry.
Man.
Now I'm all sad. You guys make me sad because you made me realize that I don't love movies as much as I used to, and mostly because of this rhetoric that I walk into every weekend, where people giving me reasons why a movie that made $25 million saying it's not good enough and it's not going to go anywhere, and they don't need to be putting any Mexican people in movies anymore because he's tired of seeing people eating tacos. What the hell is that?
Welcome to your daily dose of truth. We're glad to put you on this road to.
How is that an actual thing where somebody can say that in public in 2023? I didn't like that movie. I saw them eating tacos. Like, what the?
That's not the reason I didn't like the movie. Lawrence doesn't want to talk about why I didn't like the movie.
Well, yeah, not until next week, because that's when we're doing the actual review.
Yeah, see? So tune in next week when we'll tell you some more reasons.
The only place Blue Beetle has legs is here.
Look. Oh, too funny, man. Okay. All right.
About this damn movie.
Derek, we're going to start talking about Ahsoka, my man. Do you want to stick around for that? Did you watch Ahsoka?
Yes, please. I did watch Ahsoka. I started trying to watch it on Tuesday until I saw it was the next day. So I fell asleep on Wednesday, and then woke up like an hour after it came out. So I'm a little behind. But still, I was right.
Wait! Don't tell us why you're right yet, Derek. Let's play the theme and then.
No, more about gel coat. When the fourth round, don't you call it?
Does it look good already? Jumbo Scampi for limited.
All right, party people. Ahsoka, the latest series on Disney Plus, continuing Dave Filoni's quest to bring all of his animated characters into live action. It's going well for him. Like there's definitely more. There's definitely more. So we should talk about Ahsoka. Look, we can start with you, Derek. What do you think of Ahsoka? What you've seen so far?
I think it's funny that Kathleen Kennedy has seen the error of her ways and is doing everything possible to make this into old school, like original, like TOS, like it's the strange new worlds of Star Wars. It's starting from the scroll, from the spaceships. When it first came on, I was like, they're just redoing all the good parts of Star Wars. They're not remaking like A New Hope, but they realized that all the crap they were doing is not the crap they should have been doing, and now they're doing it. They're putting spaceships back in there. It starts out with spaceships, and there's droids, and there's like Darth Vader looking people, and there's lightsabers. All the stuff that you want that they were doing everything possible to avoid. Now they're back, and I'm liking it. I enjoy it. I know it's going to end in misery and pain because that's how all Star Wars stuff has to end because they're tied to canon. But what I've seen so far, I like.
Now, is Ahsoka like tied to any particular kind of canon? Because I get that, you know.
Did you watch it?
No. I'm talking about like it sounded to me at least like what Derek was saying was that Ahsoka has to end a particular way.
It does.
Oh, the end. Okay.
Because Star Wars is tied to canon, but the only thing that comes after Ahsoka is the new trilogy, right? And I don't know that anything.
Filoni is sticking the Heir to the Throne series in there. He's a slot because that's part of Rebels, I guess, somehow. But he's doing his best to slide General Thrawn in there. So General Thrawn has to come back and take over, and the Empire has to rebuild, which leads to the First Order. So at the end, we know he's gonna lose, Thrawn's gonna win.
See, and that's where I would disagree with you, though. Like, I feel like that's not a foregone conclusion based on.
You don't think Thrawn's gonna show up, and she's gonna fight him, and he's gonna lose, and she's gonna lose.
I don't know that she'll lose.
What?
Somebody else could win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like
could be a pawn.
Saying, like I just like in my like I feel like what happens in the new trilogy is far enough removed from what's going on now in this part of the Star Wars universe that it doesn't seem to me that one necessarily has to lead directly into the other. I could be wrong about that, but you know, and I mean, but at the same time too, I don't know that Dave Filoni necessarily wants to lead, like dovetail
in the new trilogy. There's no more Empire stuff, right? I mean, there's the First Order, New or whatever, but they're like hiding, right? They're not like all over the place like they are in this show.
They're all over this show. All hail the Empire. And
right, but I'm saying in the new trilogy, by the time we get to that point, they're hidden, which means
how do you pull a gun on a Jedi? There's a Jedi sitting in the room, and you're gonna pull a gun on them. Like, what the hell do you think is gonna happen? Like,
well, they may not have necessarily known that she was a Jedi, though.
What? She got a crazy head. She got a
That's not a Jedi head. That's a species, isn't it?
You know she's
we know she's a Jedi.
A Twilight shows up. A Twilight shows up in your office, and they're not doing like a little striptease. You know they're a Jedi.
Wow.
No, see, that's racist. that's racist.
Blue Beetle.
Show me Twilight that's not either a stripper or a Jedi.
Oh man, look, you didn't play the Old Republic. There's all these companions that are Twilight that have different jobs.
Okay.
He's okay.
Era's a Twilight anyway. She got two head tentacles, and Ahsoka got 3. Don't think I didn't notice that.
Yeah, but Ahsoka's not a Twilight.
What?
Oh, jeez, Derek.
Yes, she is.
Derek, you're messing around and you're disappointing all of your hardcore fans, man.
Your senility showing.
Like Ahsoka is not a Twi'lek. She's a completely different race.
Which race? Aha!
Listen, I don't know the name off the top of my head. There you go.
I don't listen to Oscar no more.
Oz is correct. Oscar, what did you think of Ahsoka?
As a show on its own, like as far as like action, the way it's written and acted, it's pretty good. I don't have any complaints about that.
Okay.
The
Look,
only real,
I was like, as a show, it's great, but I found something else to complain about.
But I heard the creator was possibly Latino, so I can't stand it. And I saw Dave Filoni eat a taco once. So
what was your issue, Oz?
They throw a lot at you in that first episode. If you haven't seen Rebels, you could get lost. And I've seen some Rebels. I didn't watch the whole show. So I'm sitting there going, Sabine Wren, oh yeah, she did this. Like every time they mention a name, I gotta think back, like, what is this? What did she do? What did that person do? It picks up like right after Rebels, it feels like. And I watched a little bit of it, enough that I kind of got what was going on. But like you said, somebody that's coming into this fresh, is just seen like The Mandalorian in the movies or something like that. It's gonna take a bit. Like there's no flashbacks. There's not a whole lot of, hey, this person did this.
Right.
It's just
that's the beauty of, because that's the beauty of that first episode. Like that, like I didn't watch any of Rebels, but it had the scroll. You could watch the scroll. The scroll tells me all I need to know to enjoy this episode. So, and it's like, if you look at like A New Hope, it was that. You don't know nothing about Anakin and Padme, none of that shit. You just know Luke. This is where Luke is right now, and this is where the Empire is. You know, and that made it feel like real Star Wars. You know? Like I've been missing it. Like even when you read the old comics, like the old Dark Horse comics, even some of the novels, like they start with a scroll. Like you need that shit. Like they haven't been doing that, and it's like that's why everybody's like they don't know when this takes place, and it's like you know they tell you in different ways, but not not in the way that Star Wars needs to tell you. You know.
Yeah. Jay, what did you think?
Wasn't really a fan
of the show at all.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you dislike about it?
Well, first off, since we're talking about the scroll, I didn't like how it wasn't in the standard Star Wars format.
What? Are you mad about the color because it was red? Is that what it is?
And it didn't move.
No, side to side.
Yeah, like the perspective thing.
Yeah.
No, don't. The spacing is what you said.
Yeah, it's left centered. Star Wars is normally just centered.
Okay. We're gonna stop now because.
What do you mean we're gonna stop now? This isn't your show. You come in here after you cancel 2 of your own shows and start trying to act like you're Pirate Claw and telling us what to do.
If I'm a creator and I spent $3 million on 2 episodes or whatever, however much it costs, and I look at it and say, I gotta know what the people thought. I want to know what our loving fans thought, who've been begging for this Ahsoka show, and who have stuck with us all these years and loved this franchise. What do they got to say? Well, right here the guy says he didn't like the spacing. He didn't like the spacing.
Hey, look, if you're paying $3 million to get it made, you better get that spacing right.
I would, Jay, if Dave Filoni was next to you, he would smack you right now. He would lean over and slap you in the head and say, he said, don't watch my show no more.
If Dave Filoni was next to me, I would not probably bring up the spacing. I would bring up the real problems, like how all this fake gravitas makes it not feel like Ahsoka, how the action scenes are really poorly done and badly choreographed. I would talk about how
you didn't lead with that.
The pacing is just ridiculously slow and self-important. Like there are definitely. I was starting with the scroll because it's kind of one of the least important things, and Mo and we already talked about it. But if Dave Filoni was here, I would get like on the real issues before I go into the petty stuff like the scroll, how Sabine is like really unlikable, and I wish the girl had like stabbed her through the heart instead of through the side.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like.
Wait. Let's get into this, Jay. What? Talk to me about the fake gravitas is what you said, I believe, and how that makes it not feel like Ahsoka. Talk to me about that. What's that mean?
Ahsoka
was a cartoon. So.
She's a lighter character. Like, they're trying to do this heavy, dramatic, slow, and that's not really Ahsoka. She's more of a faster, lighter character.
She was charged
with heavy shit.
She was falsely charged as a terrorist.
What?
She was falsely charged as a terrorist. That sounds kind of heavy to me. And
yeah, the situation's heavy. The character is light.
And she left, and she walked away from the Jedi Order. She walked away from the love of her life. She walked away from her master, Anakin, who immediately turned to the dark side, and she feels the pain and the guilt from seeing it happen.
And where did she end up after that?
She ends up as like a spy combatant, undercover agent, going around doing undercover stuff against the Empire. She does not lead a happy life.
And before the spy stuff, what was she doing?
She lost her Padawan that she was training to be a Jedi. Walked away from her. Walked away. But
are you alluding to like the farming part where?
Yes, I'm alluding to the farming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
right,
what's
like,
the point?
Right, and in the face of being on a world in the process of being conquered by the Empire, she was light. The situation was heavy. She was light, and she did what she needed to do. She ran fast. She's a fast-moving person. Rosario Dawson is just like still most of the time, and like with the heavy music, and it's like, no, Ahsoka was a fast move, like literally, not literally, but if you look at Clone Wars, the final season versus anytime Rosario is Ahsoka, there's a clear difference between the two. Like,
that's like 10 years apart.
It's like, say,
one is animated,
now, but there's a clear difference.
No, I would agree with
how they two speak, how they move.
I would agree with you, Jay, in the sense that there's definitely a difference between Clone Wars Ahsoka and Ahsoka live action Ahsoka. But I feel like
one was like 15 years old, the other is a full-grown adult woman.
Right, absolutely. Like age does play a big role in that, but I also feel like
all the experiences she's gone through, like she's grown.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is, I think they do a good job of bridging that gap or showing you the bridge of that gap in Rebels. Like, like the stuff that she goes through, and like
even in Rebels, she's a faster, lighter character.
No, I agree with you, but that's the whole point I'm making, is the transition from her being that faster, lighter person to her being the more measured adult Ahsoka, I feel happens in Rebels. Like, by the time she gets to the end and like has to like realizes that friggin' Vader and Anakin are the same person, she's like, Jesus, like this is messed up. And it's like that changes her. Like she is a different person after that moment. And I think that's pretty much, evidenced like in that show, which like there's no part of me that looks at Rosario, like live action Ahsoka, and looks at Clone Wars Ahsoka, and I'm like, oh, there's no way those two people are the same people, because I feel like not only could you just make the inference that she's different because she was younger, but I feel like they actually showed you the work in the show, like in Rebels, like they show you why she's different.
Imagine like a 12-year-old black kid running and seeing the cop drive and say, "Oh, that's a nice police car," and all happy and jumping around, versus like a 25-year-old black kid seeing the cop pull up. Like that, those are two different things. One guy was happy and go lucky, and now he's not anymore. Why? Because of the experiences over time and because of disillusionment that has happened. That's Ahsoka. Ahsoka's like a 25-year-old black man.
I was just about to say that.
I can't say. Yeah, I don't feel the same way.
That's fair.
You love that.
And you didn't like the fights either, Jay?
No, the fights were really bad. Like, yeah,
like in comparison to what? Like what?
Even like, Obi-Wan, like the fights in that were like really good.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like Obi-Wan.
It's always kind of weird when a human character punches a robot in the face and the robot gets affected. Like, oh.
No, but even the fight between the Sith apprentice and Sabine, like that just did not look good to me or flow well. Like, and I could see what they were trying to do, which would have worked 100% better in animation. But you can really see like the caliber of their skills with the sabers, and I know there are stunt doubles, but
Sabine is very unskilled.
They're trying to show them
very
unskilled. Like, dude, I'll tell you, I went to Anime Expo, and these two cats did the skit where they're sword fighting, and that shit looked amazing. And this, like, they have budgets, they have effects, they have all this, and it's like, oh, that's not good. Like that, it just did not. None of the fights seemed that well to me, like that interesting or good.
Did anybody else like find the lightsaber dueling subpar?
I didn't, but I'm used to the like tennis match that they had in A New Hope. Like, so anything that's not, like, I'm good. Like I'll take it.
Right.
What I did like that one Inquisitor, like, or whatever, like threw his double lightsaber like a frisbee, and then he called it back, and she should have grabbed it and broke it right there. Like that would have been badass. But
Mo's like, why would she let him keep that?
Yeah, you tossed it. Like, you don't lose your weapon like that. Like you're asking to get it lost or used against you.
Yeah,
because he did that to run away like a little bitch. So it's like, yeah, I'm taking these kyber crystals, I'm making a new one.
Yeah. Okay. Man. Like, Mo, how did you feel about the story, generally speaking?
I liked it, but like I said, I didn't watch anything of Rebel, so I feel like I needed to. And they lost me with the lightsaber slingshot. So that's
that's what right? That was Ezra's.
Yeah, so like when they had the mural, I'm like, hey, that's the kid with the slingshot. And I always remember Jay's like when we were talking about it originally when it first came out, he's like Bart Simpson. That shit always cracks me up. So he was said that to Emily today watching it. He's like Bart Simpson.
Just for the record, I told y'all to watch it back then
I know.
It's
hey,
really
look,
good.
I'm still not watching it. How about that, Larry? I'm still not watching.
Hey, I'm just putting it out there that I was like, dude, this joint's a good show.
But from being a nerd, I know enough of like the characters to kind of like jump in and be fine with it. So I enjoyed it. But what I really liked is a lot of the actual execution of it. Like I love the pacing, the gravitas that Dave doesn't like. I like that feels cinematic to me, Star Warsy. Like I feel a lot of shows right now, they rush everything. And this one's really taking its time. Like I even hated like Mandalorian. Those first few episodes are like 22 minutes and the credits are like 15. You know, it's like, oh, it's a 38-minute episode. No, fuck that. It's 22. You know, so I really
when they bring when there's a slow pass the slow pass by the spaceship and then 3 X-wings come by to fly just to fly those are pure beauty shots. Those don't do that anymore because that's money,
right?
And they were spending the money this time.
And right here, like even the way it started with like on the bridge, and you know, you get a sense of who the captain, who the first mate is, and everything. Like it felt like Star Trek. So it's like hey, they're doing something good here, you know. And, you know, walking to the you know, usually it'd be the transporter room in Star Trek, but here they go to the docking bay or whatever. And just how that scene goes down, and Ray Stevenson like fucking looks amazing as a Sith. Like I don't know why they never used him before. But he's fucking amazing. R.I.P. because you know he's dead. But yeah, so
he died?
Yeah, he died like weeks ago, months ago maybe.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Yeah. He was the Punisher, the one that kept telling "shut the fuck up," but he didn't talk the whole movie in Warzone.
Star Wars got no problem using dead people in their show no more.
Yeah, nah. Well, look, hey, yeah, man,
he was alive when they did it, though.
Yeah, they could do AI for season 2. Well, unless these writers get their way. Yeah,
he was like coughing and limping and stuff, but they're like, we're gonna keep going, raise it. I need to rest, guys.
Right. Like they did a whole AI for to track what's his name, like James Earl Jones's voice, so that they can use Vader when they want now. But he's alive, so he cut a deal. He's like, yeah, you could do it, but you still gotta pay me. So you know, but you know, Ray Stevenson is gonna be. We're gonna see him in games. We're gonna see him in everything. Like, you know, Battlefront 5 is gonna have Ray Stevenson in it as like a bonus character. Because he's amazing.
Okay. Oz. So what was the thing that you liked the most about it? Because I mean, you know, you talked about, you know, that you did like it generally, but what was the thing that you liked the most about it?
I think the when they introduced the I guess they're Sith. The lightsaber is a little orange, but
they're not Sith.
Yeah,
I didn't think so either. I think they're just mercenaries.
I think they're like dark Jedi-ish, because you know, because like she has like a Padawan like braid.
Yeah. Like she's probably one that like went after the younglings too. It's like, oh, they're kind of, you know, like this guy bullied me in the lunchroom.
And I'm sure they'll talk more about those two's background specifically, you know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think Filoni's smart enough not to screw lightsaber blade colors like that and make it orange instead of red. Yes, I like their introduction.
But doesn't he say they're not Jedi?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They started out as Jedi, then the Purge happened, they left the Jedi. So that kind of messes up. They should have the same lightsabers they had when before the Purge. They should have those same lightsabers. Unless they lost them and had to go remake them, which I'm guessing.
Well, he does have his original lightsaber. That's how they recognized who it is.
He might have changed the crystal.
And realistically, the Force guides you to the crystal, whether you're dark or light. Yeah.
So everybody would have known something was up with him the whole time.
Because if you're gonna be a Sith, like you're gonna be a bad Jedi, like it would just give you red automatically if that was how it worked, right? I mean, but I don't know. After Disney, I don't know, because according to the book, the Young Jedi Academy, Volume 2, like it just guides you to whatever color it's gonna be. Like
if you play the new Jedi game, there's a scene where a dude makes a red crystal. Like you see how they do it, and it's pretty much the traditional way. He just pours his hate and all that into it until it basically shatters and becomes red. It's a good scene. It's a good game.
That's not how it was in the book.
Is that the sequel that happens?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think Mo especially would like that game, at least that character, because he's going on he's going on a journey. Like I think he might end up dark side by the third one.
Oh, it's the same dude from the first one then, right? Yeah. But just okay.
Yeah. Survivor, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
that's a good
look,
game.
You already lost me with the way he did the lightsaber because that's not how it is in the book.
That's not how he did it. That's how somebody else did it.
Oh, it's still not how.
When is Oscar going to show his true right wing itself and complain about the number of women in lead roles?
That's Larry.
What? Why is that me?
You didn't watch Barbie.
Huh?
You didn't watch Barbie.
What does that have to do with anything?
See. It's like, you're like, go woke, go broke.
I've never said such a thing. But Oz, you didn't tell us what you like about it.
I like that scene.
Oh, the scene where the Dark Jedi get introduced. Okay,
it did feel a little bit like they were trying to copy that Darth Vader scene in
yeah,
but not as well.
But it's not like homage. Like, it doesn't have to be
absolutely.
Like,
nothing wrong with that. Like, look, nothing wrong with that at all.
Like Mo said, that guy is a freaking badass, and they show him as a badass in that.
And the ship, though, the ship is still in Rebel hands, though. Well, whatever they call it, the New Republic hands. Like, so they didn't kill everybody in the ship. At some point, they just left, right?
Right, because they were just going to free that lady. That's what
all
they
cared about.
That was the mission.
And that's how badass he is. He doesn't need to take the ship. He's like, I'm taking what I came for. You want to die? Keep coming after me.
He's only getting paid to get her, not the ship.
Yeah.
I did like how that scene, like right from the jump, very much shows you the difference between the styles between the two of them too. Because like she like rushed in and started like cutting fools down, and he definitely like hung back a little bit more, and like like he just took care of the captain first. But like
how she goes, Oz didn't even say goodbye, and then he pulls the gun, the one like guard guy, and he just uses the force to just hold them back. You ain't shooting in the back, and he's like just fucking badass.
I think it was
I think it's called fake gravitas.
It was an homage to Phantom Menace's opening when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn came in.
Yeah.
The exact same way where they were just walking around with their big old cloaks on, looking badass, and then they started beating shit out of everybody. Same way.
I love it.
I didn't like that scene.
You said you did not like the scene? What, you didn't like Obi-Wan and Anakin? Like what? Like
they were standing too far away.
The scene like in Ahsoka when they come on the ship.
Oh, really? Well, now what didn't you like about that?
It just didn't make sense to me. It's like if someone is claiming to be a Jedi and you don't think they're a Jedi, why the fuck would you let them on your ship? Like that just seems like a really bad idea.
Well, he didn't count on them being dark Jedi or Sith. Like he just thought they were impersonators. Like he even said, like
I would not take the chance.
Yeah.
Like what? Like it is hard to pretend to be a Jedi.
You can't live in fear.
Like if they think they can pull it off, then I don't want to fuck with them. Like I'm not gonna let them on my ship.
But if they're like, like there's also like what was this? There's like how Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind it. Like it's like he thought there was somebody trying to just take advantage of the ship or get transport, and he's like people pretend to be priests or something to get housing or some shit. You know, like
Yeah, I
it's like.
wouldn't have let them on.
But
I wouldn't have let them on, and they would have had to force their way on, and then we would have known from the jump. I don't know. It just seems like a bad idea. It's like,
I mean, there could be bad captains.
You're a Jedi, but I don't think you are. So come on in. Like,
and I guess that's why he met him at the bay too. Like he didn't just have him all the way, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing where it's like it's a little bit of like, you know, I don't want to say plot armor, but it is definitely a little bit of a convenience for the plot where it's like, okay, like, you know, the captain meeting them at the bay because he doesn't believe that they're Jedi is not like a thing where it's like, oh, okay, this is like ridiculous. Like it makes sense, especially like in regards to like how sci-fi goes usually. Now, the part that for me where I was just like, okay, like, and I think this kind of goes along the lines that you know, the same, I had a similar thought, Jay, where it's like, okay, if they say they're Jedi and they're not actually Jedi, it's like, but they definitely have the balls to like try to feel like they can pull that off. At the very least, you take some sort of precaution so that they, like, if things go bad, they can't just run amok in the ship. You know what I mean? Because that, like, you could at least close the bay door behind you. You know what I'm saying? So that they gotta like get through that too if they get through us. You know what I'm saying? But the bay doors are open. They get through the whole security team, and Home Chick ran off into the ship before the captain was even dead all the way. And I'm like, man, that's messed up. Like, you done lost your whole ship because you're like, I got this. It's like you could at least lock the door behind you.
He did take like 8 dudes with him.
Right. He did have a whole security detail, and you know, and that's the other thing that you have to.
I had their guns out. None of the security guys had their guns out when he got there. I noticed that they walked in. I was like, nobody has their gun at the ready? Like, this is not right.
Well, they were counting on being like they don't believe Jedis exist still,
and that was the,
you know, like
it's not that they don't believe that it exists, but they're super rare.
Yeah.
You know, they're super rare, and it's like, yeah, like at that point, you know, you might be like, maybe you hear about 1 or 2 every so often, but it's like, yeah, like Jedi,
yeah,
right, but you know, yeah, but I definitely don't think they were counting on them being like not Jedi, but still Force users.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna bet my life on that, right?
Right.
No.
Look, and the life of everybody on the ship. Like, well, that's the whole thing where I'm saying.
Ego, like your ego is different than the captain's ego. Like, Jay, you know.
That's true. Yeah, but you've met captains, Jay. You've met captains.
Yeah. Like, didn't one watch you poop in the ship once?
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
You know yeah. His captain watched them take a shit, like from outside the porthole, like it's the actual porthole, and he's watching him. Jay's like about to wipe and looks, and the dude's face is in the porthole, so he's hanging off the ship, watching him take a shit.
That did happen.
Yeah, so it's like that. Like, you telling me that guy wouldn't let Jedi mercenary like on the ship and let them kill you?
So Joe, if you saw a guy walking down the street in a well-tailored suit, you would assume it's John Wick and like cross the street or something?
I mean, probably.
At the very least, it could be a Reservoir Dog.
It's too funny, man.
Yeah.
But
captains aren't always like, they get the captain, but you know, they might not be the best captains.
Well, the other captain was somebody handed her a gun when shit started popping off. So like there was so she was ready at least.
Yeah.
The woman that was on the bridge.
Yeah.
The woman in charge, Lawrence, please.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying she was like the one that was second in command until the captain died, right? Is that who you're talking about?
Yes, the woman that was second in command. That was the point of authority.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm just making sure we're talking about the same person. That's all. Like, I don't know. I don't problem her being in charge. I just like, is that who we're talking about? Because
like the woman at the bridge, like the communications officer.
Were they in the kitchen at some point? Was there somebody cooking food? What are we talking about?
Oh man, you all okay? But anyway, so okay, like wow, this is interesting because like this is definitely like I feel like everybody had some different opinions than I expected, and that's always interesting.
Show up at some point in this show too, right? Obviously.
Say what now?
Asajj Ventress is going to show up at some point during the show.
Why do you feel that?
They have Night Sisters in here.
So Asajj Ventress has to show up, you think?
I believe so. You can't. Why would you have a whole show with her cult, her clan, or whatever, being a major part of it, and I have the most famous, most recognized one show up at some point? I'm surprised she hasn't. I'm surprised she's not here yet. She's not out on the first or second episode.
I mean, listen, I'm not gonna knock seeing a live action of Asajj Ventress. I just don't know if she fits in the story at the point that we're at now. Like if they, I trust the creative team that's doing this show to like if they do bring her in, that it will be in a way that makes sense and that will be probably for the better. But at the same time, I don't know that you necessarily need her based on where the story's going on. Like, I mean,
that would make the show worse.
Say again?
That would make the show worse.
I mean, it could if they do it poorly, obviously, but it could be good too. I just don't see, like, in my mind, it's like you already have a Night Sister character in the show, and I know she's not Asajj Ventress, but it's like I don't know, like you can maybe save Asajj Ventress for season 2, you know?
And she's doing like a really good.
Dead.
Say what?
Just let her stay dead.
What are you gonna say, Mo?
Oh, the Night Sister chick is like, she does a real good job. Like the actress, like, so like having more would probably dilute that a little bit in terms of story, you know?
Yeah. Also, I did want to mention the cast. You know, I mean, obviously Rosario Dawson has been Ahsoka previously, so you know we knew what we were getting with her. But the cast is actually like really good. The super slightest kind of nitpick is Hera.
Cat. That stupid Muppet cat walking around.
I love that thing. I think like it looks so good to me, which I'm just like, wow, like, and like I like it better in live action than I even like it animated.
I feel like they couldn't do that with that dude with the weird head in from the cartoon too. Remember, they got the actor that did the voice to be him.
Oh,
but
yeah,
forget his name, but like that dude, like they couldn't make him look good live action, but they could make that cat thing, the Cheshire cat.
I mean,
live action is used loosely because you know,
right.
But it fits in. Like like when we talk about special effects a lot and how they cut corners for reasons of budget or time constraints, but I feel like this show, the special effects were really good on it. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Both practical and CGI.
Yeah, but the one nitpick I have is Hera. The actress that plays Hera, like I feel like she doesn't look like Hera, especially.
Now, is she a Twi'lek?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hera is a Twi'lek.
Well, thank you for that.
But she does a good job too, though. Like,
as acting wise, she's fantastic. Yeah. I agree, and so it's like I said, there's a super slight thing where it's like she just like I feel like Rosario Dawson looks like a grown up Ahsoka to me. And I feel like the young lady that they got to play Sabine, like she looks like Sabine, like more so than not, you know. But Hera, I'm like, oh, like that woman's face isn't like shaped right to be Hera, but she's acting well, so I can't be mad at it.
Like what did she do to be a general? I wonder. Twi'lek.
See, listen.
Fought. Was it the rebellion? Like,
right, exactly. Like
did she blow up the whole was it like an armory or some shit? Like,
no, dude, she like, yeah, man, she went head to head with Thrawn. She messed around. And, look, if it wasn't for what they did in Rebels, man, like the rebellion would have lost the war.
Yeah. Forget about Andor.
No, don't forget about it.
Andor just made the. I don't even remember what Andor did. He was made part of the Death Star, and that was the whole part. That was the whole reason for that thing existing. The show existing because to show that he made part of the Death Star. Like I don't. Otherwise he could have went his whole life, and I wouldn't even know. You know, I didn't see him do anything.
Yeah, man. So, yeah. So anyway, I guess I don't know. Anybody got anything else they want to say about Ahsoka before we do some ratings?
It did put me to sleep.
I disagree with Joe again about the fight scenes. I think the fight scenes are great, especially compared to what I saw of Ahsoka in Clone Wars and before. I think it's only going to get better, and I hope that they have some space battles, some more space battles. Oh wait, I just realized there's a space battle on this one. Good Lord, they are throwing everything at this sucker.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I didn't like.
My god.
The droid's voice.
You don't like Chopper's voice?
I didn't like that. Yeah.
Oh, what? Come on, man.
It looked like a dude. It sounded like a dude talking like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, you doing?"
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
How come Chopper sound like that? He doesn't sound like R2D2.
Like I don't want my droids like that sounding like dudes muffled.
And wasn't that same style of droid in Mandalorian and didn't sound like that? It sounded like R2D2. But this droid sounds
no, Chopper's different.
Chopper's a person.
Again, maybe maybe it was programmed different. I don't know. I didn't watch Rebels, but
he didn't sound like that in Rebels.
Oh, okay.
He does.
He doesn't though. Like you can't.
I choose to believe Jay because Larry has the shit memory.
With Chopper, you can almost understand what the guy is saying. You couldn't do that with Chopper.
I mean, listen, I'll give you that in the sense that the way that the noises that he makes mimics like actual speech more so in the show. Like it's not even the show. It's like it's literally in that one scene where they're talking back and forth, and it's like the noises he's making kind of are like aligned with the syllables for what he would be saying, and so you can tell.
Why can't R2D2 sound like that then?
But what I'm saying is, that is something that like a choice that they made, I think, for that scene.
Yeah, and we could not like it.
But no, I'm not saying you can't like it. What I'm saying is,
the
noises
and Chopper can speak almost English, and R2 can only beep and boop.
You understand that R2 and the droids like R2 are R2 units, right?
Right. Chopper's not an R2 unit.
You know Chopper's not an R2 unit, right?
He's like an RD2. He's the R2D2 D3.
It's an astromech, but it's not an R2, so it doesn't they don't make the same kind of noises. All the robots that you all are talking about are R2 units, and they make the same noise.
Right.
Chopper is not an R2 unit. He makes a different noise. And what I'm saying is, the noise that he's making, even in the time when he sounds like he's talking, is the same noise that he makes in the show.
So if I bought an R2 unit, I would go and get a Chopper unit voice box and stick it in there so I can understand them.
Well, you could get the little free. The little free dudes can do that for you. But yeah, yeah.
But no, because Chopper in Rebels, Chopper, like his noises he makes don't line up with syllables for words. And I'm pretty sure in episode 1 it doesn't do that either. But in episode 2, when they're having that conversation, it does do that. And I feel like that's something that I don't know. Like I don't know why they made that choice.
Things. Like my closed caption thought he was saying stuff. You know, like, you know what he's saying.
your closed captions tried to translate it.
Yeah, he did. He called her a cunt. Like, no, he can't do it.
That's too funny, man. So so they did do that for that scene, but all I'm saying is the noises are the same noises. But yeah, you're right. Like it kind of was lining up, and I don't know how often it did it, because I did notice it one point where I'm just like, oh, this feels like talking, you know. But yeah, nah, man, Chopper's cool. I like and honestly, that's it's one of these things where
I just didn't like that part where I could hear what he was saying.
Right. And you know, it's one of these things where sometimes some of this stuff I'm like, is that, you know, it worked in animation, is it going to work in live action? And Chopper so far has worked, and I was like shocked by it, because even in that scene, like Chopper's very erratic, and he's erratic in the cartoon, and so it was cool to see that they made sure that he kept that like personality line in the show. It was almost like it's similar to what happened with the Star Trek joint, where the characters from Lower Decks still kind of maintained a lot of their, you know, animation kind of flair when they were being played by their live action counterparts, you know. And it's like that's something that you very well may not have been done if it was like different people, just because they're like, well, that's silly. But it's like, well, that's kind of the point, you know.
It's like that's the story wrong, where it didn't even give the opportunity, you know, for
that's true, right? That's true. So yeah, it was very cool. Like, you know, so I was actually really, I thought that was really interesting
already.
Dude, great. It's great.
I'm behind on Strange New Worlds, but I watched that episode over and over again.
Did you watch
it now? But that ball one doesn't show up.
Wait, what happened, Derek?
How come Chopper's everywhere now? He was in Rogue One. He's in Ahsoka. He's like, but the ball droid is nowhere to be seen.
Oh, BB-8.
Yeah,
BB-8.
Like
he comes around.
Can BB-8 can talk, or can he only do beeps and boops?
No, he does beeps and boops too.
Why?
But like, because he's more like he uses R2 software, R2 unit software.
So they went and used a old Commodore 64 software in a brand new computer. Like, why?
Yeah, technically, yeah, because it's like a Nokia phone. Like you still get the same ringtones. You just get a better speaker as time goes on. But it's also because BB-8 was also made at a time when they were losing to the First Order. You know, like right now, flourishing.
BB-8's literally like a salvage droid, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
No?
You're gonna go make me watch that movie over again, see where he showed up.
Well, they don't tell you in that movie that he's a salvage droid, but he is a salvage droid.
No, but I mean, is it like
100 years? It's 100 years later, though.
No, what I'm saying is
27.
BB-8 in the movie, which, you know, and I might be mistaken here, but BB-8 was literally with Rey, right? From the beginning.
No, he was with the pilot, the Latino represented guy.
Oh, he's okay.
He's his astromech, but it is like it's still like the rebellion.
Why do TIE fighters have astromechs? TIE fighters don't have astromechs.
Yeah, they do.
You're talking about not a TIE fighter. You're talking about an X-wing.
X-wing. Yeah.
X-wings have.
Oh, but they weren't an X-wing. They didn't have an X-wing. They only had a TIE fighter.
Yeah. Wait, what are you talking about in the new trilogy?
Yeah, the new trilogy. The first few minutes of the new trilogy, they steal a TIE fighter.
Well, that's why he lost them, because he's like, you gotta go. He's like, you gotta deliver this message, and then he gets the TIE fighter, right?
I don't know. They jump on TIE fighter because he, the Latino guy and the black guy,
right,
had to leave.
Yeah,
and then they land and crash, and then
but
all of a sudden BB-8's there with him.
no, that's when he. Yeah, who knows? I'm not watching that movie again. Look, but realistically, like it's just like when he had him, he was in like an X-wing type or an A-wing. They all
the next movie.
No, when he. I'm not gonna argue this shit. Like I could be wrong.
I don't know.
It doesn't really matter. But they all the rebellion uses astromechs for the most part when they're in the small like 1-person, 2-person craft.
Yeah. All right. So Derek H, what would you rate Ahsoka?
I would give
out of 5.
Oh, out of 5, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. Jay, what would you rate Ahsoka?
I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 5.
Wow, that's fair.
What? I'm sorry. The spacing was wrong on the text. I forgot. Well, I understand the 1 out of 5. You know what? I'm gonna bring mine down to 3.25 out of 5.
Moses Magnum, what would you rate Ahsoka?
I would do 4 out of 5. I can't like give it a 5 yet because I did fall asleep during portions of both episodes.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, listen, wait a minute. So is that why you like the pacing? You're like, oh, I can nap right here.
That look, I felt like I didn't lose much, but I did lose. I lost the space battle. I lost that.
Oh,
but
dude,
that's a bonus. Like I'm gonna watch it again. Like Liz texted Emily earlier. Did you guys watch Ahsoka already? Like tell her no, because technically, I might have not. But I did watch good chunks of it, and I the execution, like the artistry that goes into making it, like I feel confident that. In the story, I didn't feel like I lost story. I feel like I lost story from not watching Rebels more than I did from falling asleep here and there. But I am gonna watch it a second time, and if come in next week, like, subscribe, hit the bell, in case I change my rating. But right now it's a 4.
All right.
I was confused about why the people were cartoons still when at the memorial. Like, so was it like a lower decks type of thing where everybody else saw them as cartoons or something?
But I think it's just a painting. It's like it's like how they chose to.
She's not a very good artist then, because if I was gonna do a memorial, like if all you guys died, I had to do a memorial of all you guys. I went and I show up and I drew a cartoon version of all of y'all. Like that would not go over well, I don't think.
I think that was almost like a little bit of like fan service. Yeah,
it's definitely fan service, but also too, it kind of goes along with the art style from the cartoon too, like because Sabine.
When you were in real life, you did. I think they should have had a real people there, especially at a solemn memorial for their dead friends and stuff. Like, and somebody comes up and basically spray paints a graffiti version of a cartoon version of these heroes. I'm like, no, we're not paying for that. Like that's not gonna fly here.
I would pay for that.
I mean, think of it though, like how almost like in the same way how when you had like Tupac and like Biggie memorials, right? Some of them are like
those are done by poor black kids. I'm sorry.
Hey, what the fuck do you think Sabine is?
Okay.
I don't know that she's a black kid.
Wait, so is Mandalorians like black kids?
Well, because she's not a foundling, right? Like she's more
only the ones that can't take off their helmet.
Yeah.
But no, man, I yeah.
It's the Malibu Mandalorians.
I mean, part of it, I think Mo's right, is fan service, and then part of it is just like, it's like you can have a memorial to people and it doesn't have to be photorealistic. It can be.
If somebody did put a stick figure
stylized
out of Martin Luther King, I'm going to say hell no. That doesn't.
Well, but you also got to think like in a galaxy far away, long ago, like you don't know what kind of artists they have. Like you see their letters and shit, like their dolls and toys, like they look like shit. So that's probably the best. They don't have a Banksy in the New Republic, you know what I mean, or a Van Gogh, you know, that only comes from boring places like Earth, and nobody wants to watch a space opera about Earth.
I would watch that. Look, I would rate Ahsoka a 4 out of 5 as well, and I do think like I enjoyed it thoroughly, honestly, and I do feel like it definitely has some very strong classic Star Wars kind of influences as a part of it. I think the only reason I have to give it a 4 instead of a 5 is just I do kind of feel like you lose a little something if you haven't watched Rebels. Like I feel like, you know, and not like a whole bunch. Like I think you could enjoy it without having watched Rebels, but
it's free on Disney Plus though, so you have no excuse not to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, you can just go back and do it. It's just one of those things where, you know, some people aren't going to watch it just because it's animated. Some people aren't going to watch it because they can't get past that Ezra is like Bart Simpson.
Like, I still can't watch it because of that. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, Jay. Son of a bitch. All right. Let's move on, good people. And you know what? There was something I wanted to ask you, Mo, but I forgot. Like you had said something, and I was like, I should ask Mo about that. But,
ask me. Ask away.
No, but I think I've lost it. I think I've lost it.
Derek, thank you for your call. I do want to remind people to pick up the ship with the red hair.
I have a very big announcement about the ship with the red hair also.
Oh, you want to do it now, or
can I do it now? Is that okay? I don't want to jump in. The ship with red hair, which is available. Which is available on in real book form, but for people like Joe, it's also available in Kindle form. So you don't have to dirty your hands with filthy paper. You can watch it in digital, or if you can't read, which I'm sure there's somebody out there complaining about. I'm illiterate. I can't read. I can't read that book. That's against illiterate people. How dare you not have a version for illiterate? I now have a version for people who can't read. It's out on Audible. It is somebody reads it to you like a little kid. So you can go on to audible.com. If you have a Prime membership, I'm sure you probably got some way to get it free with your Prime membership or whatever. Or you can just pay the $6, whatever. It's only $6. Come on, people. So you can go there, go to audible.com, type in The Ship with the Red Hair, or type in Derek Hopkins, or type in awesome book I want to listen to because I can't read and I'm illiterate and nobody taught me how to read. You can go watch it there. You can listen to the whole thing probably in 3-4 days because it's a quick read. So please go do that now. Either read it, have it read to you, or dirty your fingers by touching actual paper. Either way, it's available in literally all formats now. I remember somebody saying that they're waiting for it to be in audio, and it is now in audio. So thank you very much. That's all.
All right. Good job, Derek. Thank you, buddy. And we definitely want to have you on sometime in the near future, man, to talk to us about the book.
Yeah, I hope all of you read it. Lauren sent me a very nice message about the fact that he actually did read it, which makes me incredible. You don't even know how happy I am that somebody else read it, because I've read it 3 times. I've listened to it twice. So I'm so happy that other people are reading it. I have proof of it that other people read it. I'm hoping that one day I'll keep watching my phone, Jay, waiting for you to send me an email or something saying that you have read the digital version, which you yelled at me about. So please, Jay, you're the one I'm waiting for now at this point, because I know that Moses shows it to me all the time. I get haircuts from Moses. I saw it. You're the one I need proof from. So please read it, enjoy it, and tell me how great I am, and how much you enjoy it. And that's all. Thank you very much.
All right, Derek. What's wrong, Jay? What's that face, Jay?
He's thinking about reading the book.
No, I'm trying to buy the audio version, but it says free with the trial, but I just want to pay for it.
Ooh.
You could get it through Amazon though. Like, just go on your Amazon account.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Audible and Amazon are the same.
Right.
Do you have a version that's not on the internet? Because I don't deal with this internet stuff. It's too complicated. So I'm gonna need a version. It's not a version that I can get not on the internet. All the versions are available on Amazon.com. From there, you can get the Audible.com. You get Kindle.com. I don't know, maybe.
You'll be happy to know, Derek, that I do have a free gift from Audible, and I'm gonna use it on your book.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, well, see, this is a great day. This is a great day for me.
Oh yeah, man! Look, I can listen to it and read it. Realistically, like, it's two different experiences. So
it is.
I enjoy audiobooks and I enjoy Well, I don't enjoy reading, but I'll read your book for sure.
Mo had to back himself up real quick. He's like, wait, hold on.
Yeah. Lest people think I'm an elite intellectual, but yeah, no, definitely. Like, I'm excited for the Audible experience too, because I do get stuck in traffic regularly. So, and that's the perfect time to listen to audiobooks. So, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna read it for the second time concurrently.
I don't like this confused look I'm seeing on Joe's face. I'm gonna get out of here before he decided some other format. He said you don't want to read it. He's like, it's in English. I don't want it in English. I need a Slavic version.
Yeah.
I just bought it.
Oh.
So, assuming they don't fuck me over, because
Amazon usually fucks people over when people try to buy from Amazon. Nobody's ever been able to successfully buy anything from Amazon ever. So it's a coin flip if you get what you order from Amazon.com. Okay.
All right,
Derek. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Later.
Yeah,
it's too funny, man.
Last time I hung out with Derek,
your fucking Amazon. God damn.
Yeah, and they're the only game in town too. Like, that's what's fucked up about it. Yeah, last time I
buy Void Rivals and it won't let me.
Why won't I let you buy Void Rivals?
I don't know. Something with Comixology is fucked right now.
Yeah. Like when we were trying to do the book, was it the Blood Betrayal or whatever, and it's like literally, like, the book has the URL that you need to put or the search keywords, and they don't come up. I looked on Comixology on 5 different platforms, and it's not showing up. Like, maybe if I get a Amazon phone, a Fire phone, like, maybe I can do that, but not even the tablet. And I'm like, dude, like, this is your, like, you own this. Like, I should be able to whatever I want here, you know?
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I was buying all of the Night Terror stuff, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, it all disappeared. It all got refunded, like returned, refunded. I didn't ask for that to happen, but they just did it. And now almost all my Night Terror books are gone.
That's crazy.
It's been held, like, sometimes it'll let me buy a book and sometimes it just won't. Like, I was able to buy Wonder Woman 800 today, but when I tried to buy Void Rivals, it wouldn't let me. So it's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with.
Does it give you an error code or anything? Like, anything you can use to, like, for support?
Say again?
Does it give you, like, an error code or something?
No.
Yeah. I just found out a thing about reference numbers.
Right.
Apparently, you got to write those down. Like whenever you have an issue.
You're talking about for errors. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so like Emily's like, make sure to write it down and confirm it. I'm like, confirm it? Like I wrote it down when I heard it. And she's like, no, confirm it. Yeah, it's true. Like you need to do that.
Yeah.
It's fucked. Like I might have to just stop buying comics.
No.
That's not the answer. What are you talking nonsense? Just buy it physical.
Hey, and here's the thing, Jay. The realistic
or digital from someplace else.
Yeah. Well,
no, I'm just gonna pirate. No more buying, just pirating.
Well, look, let's make let's get enough traction so that we can just get comps, so that you can get comics, even digital comps. Like, hey, just send me the PDF, please. You can watermark it with my name so that you know if I put it on a server or something, you know it's me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do with movies. So,
that was so dope.
Like, having comics with your name in them, like, I would love that.
That happened when I watched Wolfwalkers.
Yeah, right.
You have my name on it. I was like, oh shit, that's tight.
Yeah,
that's too funny.
We should put that on our channel. Like Jay's version.
There was which I think I told you all about this once before, but it's been a while. But there was a random issue of Cable that one of the characters like had my name.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And when I read that, like, and it's just like it's not like any kind of special dude. It's like some like random like shield agent or something. And he's just like Shield Agent Lawrence Young. I was like, oh schmeck, I'm in the comic. But it was a white guy. But I was like, I'm in the comic. But I remember reading that joint and I was just like, dude, like, and it's just wild because I was like,
hey, if they make Nick Fury black, they can make Larry Young black.
Dude,
that would be the shit if they decide to put him in a movie and like the dude they get to do in the movie like likes us and he's like, can you just play Larry Young?
Dude, but
we gotta touch on that issue too, man.
Yeah. It's like I'm pretty sure it was an issue of Cable, and I read it, and I was just like, but it was just wild because it's like, I was just like, whoa, like because you read comics and you get there's names in comics all the time, and every now and then there might be somebody that has like a first name Lawrence, and every now and then like there might be like a one or two characters who have like Young as a last name, but for it to be both together, I was just like, oh my god. It blew my mind. I was like, it made my whole day.
And he's not Korean, like Young and not Korean.
Right, and not Korean. Right. Like on the phone, I've been asked way too many times if I was Korean.
Yeah, you do have the deep Korean voice too, and the diction. You enunciate like Korean.
Right. I got that Korean sound. Everyone knows that about me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get to this review of Babylon 5, The Road Home. We got some movie music, some comic book theater.
Do we need comic book theater for that or no?
We don't have to.
I mean, without it. Let's see. Where is it?
No, like if it's an issue, let's not do it.
Comic book theater. Comic book theater.
I was wrong. We need that. We need that. Who was the person that was like, we don't have to do it? Who said that? Beat that guy up. Anyway, comic book theater. Shout out to Tiger Claw. Babylon 5, The Road Home. Jay, you want to tell us about this joint?
Yeah. It's the new Babylon 5 movie by J. Michael Straczynski. I think I said that right.
Yeah, you
did. Basically Sheridan is now the president and he is leaving Babylon 5. He gets starts doing he is basically doing a ceremony for a power plant, but it's powered by tracheons and it ends up unsticking him in time. And so he's going through different times, realities, trying to get back home.
Okay, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. So it, I mean, like you said, written by J. Michael Straczynski, and so it's like, and that, you know, since he was the creator and writer of Babylon 5, it's like makes this real official, super official. So I know that at this point, Jay, I'm pretty sure you're the only person on that's, you know, on right now that's like actually watched Babylon 5 in a real way. Like,
right.
I've seen at least one season, like a season and a half or whatnot, and you know, it's a good show. It's just one of those things where I know for me, I just didn't get back around to it. I've always been meaning to, because I mean, one thing that I've always loved about J. Michael Straczynski, and like I know that, you know, part of his personal philosophy is that like stories have beginnings, middles, and ends, and that's how he writes. And Babylon 5 was no exception, because you know, it had like the show was set up to be 5 seasons, and that's what they did, and that was the end until now. You know, or even though I think they may have done some comics as well. I think maybe, you know, I don't know.
They did some comics and they did some TV movies.
Oh, and they did TV movies too? I didn't know that.
And they did they did a spin-off show too that I forget what it was called. I think it was like on TV. But I don't know how much he had to do with that. But it's still like spin-off. It didn't affect the main 5 seasons, you know.
Right. And
everything
I think that
everything they do, like the movies take place in between episodes or eras, or even before or after too. Like they don't affect the main season fully.
Mm-hmm. And I think more than anything, it's just the idea that, you know, he likes to tell complete stories. And like this is no exception. But you know, I feel like there's definitely something, like obviously the experience of somebody who's watched Babylon 5, you know, from start to finish, this movie is going to be a different experience for them than it is for somebody like myself or Moses. So can you speak to that a little bit, Jay, and like what the difference is there? Oh wait, what's Tiger Claw says? The VFX on Babylon 5 were pretty good back in the days. They just don't hold up today. Yeah, we know what you meant, Tiger Claw. And yeah, I mean, that's 100% true. But the show was made in like
95 or something, like 94.
Yeah, like mid 90s. Yeah, exactly. Like
they looked really good.
Yeah, but it's funny because just as a quick aside, I'm actually watching. There's a Gundam series that I'm watching right now that is CG. It's a CG Gundam series, which I think it's one of the few, but it is like I think a mid 90s series, CG series, and it holds up really well. Like I was actually kind of blown away by how good it looks, especially considering, like, you know, comparing it to like say something like well, you know, and I guess that's an unfair comparison, but I would say like comparing it to something like a Beast Wars,
okay,
or like a Roughnecks, which came out roughly in that same era, which are both shows that I thoroughly enjoy. But when you look back at that CG, it's a little rough. You know what I'm saying? Like things move in a way that looks very unnatural. But the big difference is this wasn't, you know, like those are TV series that had like a certain number of episodes per season, and the Gundam things are like OVAs. So, you know, they did like 3 episodes, and that's like a season. Then they did like another couple sets of that. So that's a whole different thing. I'm sure they had
Did you watch live action Gundam already? Like you're watching them in order?
I am. I'm watching the UC Century stuff in order. And yeah, I did watch the live action Gundam one. And yeah, it's not that good. G Savior, I'm pretty sure it's what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it
and
is.
Yeah, and I was just like, wow, like, and yeah, the CG on that's pretty bad. Like, like it's not terrible. Like it could be, especially again, given the time, because that's like, I think that was early 90s. So it's like
G Savior?
No. G Savior.
No, G Savior, I think was because that's the one that had CGI in it. Like everything was CGI except the people, right? Like it was all green screen. Like that was like 2002, I think.
I'm looking it up real quick. G Savior.
It might have been when I saw it. Was it like 2000?
Yeah, it is the live. G Savior is the live action one. And it does look like it was actually, it was 99.
99. Okay.
Yeah, and so it's late 90s, but yeah, you wouldn't know it by looking at it. Like, yeah. But anyway, so I guess we got to wait for Jay to come back, because I was like asking him a question. He's like, y'all start talking about Gundam. He's like, no, thank you.
What I can say about this, like, I really enjoyed this, like, self-contained story. It did give me a little bit of, like, I remember seeing some of these characters in commercials or in channels, and that's the hard part about Babylon 5, because it was like a self-contained story between seasons. So picking up a random episode, like, you had to wait for reruns. Like, we didn't have streaming,
Right.
So, and that's like, I think my history with it, I've only watched like 2 episodes at most, and they were like either a quirky episode that's a little one-off or something that I felt like I could just stay here. Like it was captivating enough that I didn't feel like the backstory. And this movie kind of had that feel to it, where it's like, okay, like they tell me enough through dialogue without, about what everything is, and then I just go on this adventure.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would agree with you in the sense that there was no point in the movie that I felt lost. Like, I was like, what's going on? What's happening? None of that happens at all, because I think they do tell you everything you need to know inside the movie itself. I think that, I feel like, for me, it just felt as though, and I don't even know that this would be the experience of just anybody, like, say if someone's never heard of Babylon 5 and they just watch this movie, they might just watch it and be perfectly fine. I think it's just me being a bit more like understanding that Babylon 5 was a series that I haven't watched yet, and being able to kind of infer in like little moments where I'm like, okay, like when that person showed up on screen, that was supposed to be like a moment for me to be like, oh, it's such and such, like, but I don't know who that is. Like, oh,
even like
that
the
was supposed to be a
timelines, like even the different timelines, like, did he like jump into an episode? Like, like, is that like?
I don't know. Right, yeah. I don't know. Maybe. Look, he might have. Yeah, but I agree. Like, I was just like, oh man, like,
so awesome when I watched Babylon 5 from beginning to end now.
No, and I think that's what happened with me too, where I kind of was watching this joint, and I'm like, dude, you know what? I think I'm gonna go watch Babylon 5 and come back and watch this joint again. Like, so that way it's like, and especially considering like the amount of time that it's probably gonna take me to actually get through Babylon 5, because I'm not gonna like just like binge it hard. It's like I'll watch it periodically or whatever and enjoy it and just be like, okay, this was cool, get through 1 season, then 2 seasons. Finally, I'll get to the end of 5. By the time I do that, I'll go back to this joint and it'll be like watching it for the first time almost, because I'll be like, wow, like there'll be so much time in between that. And then I'll get the references and stuff. And I'll be like, wow, this is like, somebody should have told me to watch this back in the day when it came out. No. So I don't know, Jay, talk to us about what the experience is like as a person that's actually watched Babylon 5.
Oh, it was fun. Like it was cool seeing the characters again. The story was fun. There's one callback in particular that I don't know, I liked it more than I should have.
Which one?
But there's a part where Sheridan, he's in this dimension and he's talking to this guy and he's not feeling good. And he's talking about how, like, he says something to the effect of, I'll let you know when the room stops spinning.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy is like, well, you know, the whole station spins. That's how we have the gravity. That's actually a callback from the first episode where one of the aliens was like, he had caused a bunch of trouble and, you know, he got a little bit hurt from it. But the dude Sheridan's like, yeah, you have to explain, need you to explain yourself. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it when the room stops spinning. He's like, yeah, the room's always spinning. That's how we have gravity. And then the dude is like, the dude is like, so hence you see my problem.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. So, I did want to ask you too, like, did the entire cast come back to do all the voices?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, everyone came back.
And I know that, you know, I mean, the show is pretty old. Yes. So, like, does anybody sound like noticeably different?
No.
Okay.
Like, I didn't notice any differences.
Okay.
Now, it has been a while since I watched the show.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, if someone's voice is a little off, I probably wouldn't remember it that well. But everyone sounded fine to me.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, like, I was just in here, like, watching the joint, and, you know, everybody sounded good to me, but at the same time, like, I hadn't watched nearly enough Babylon 5 to, like, make a compare and contrast. And so I was just, like, wondering, because I'm like, I don't, what? I mean, was Babylon 5 like early 2000s?
No.
Oh, Derek A says Delene died a while ago, so I guess she didn't come back.
Okay, well, that's good to know. But no, I mean, was it late 90s?
Like 95 to like 2000, right? Or 94 to 99?
Damn, that's crazy.
But 93 to 98.
That's right.
Damn, that's like a lifetime ago, literally. Like,
well, I remember when it premiered and like trying to catch it, but it premiered like I didn't have a TV yet. Like, so I would see like the commercial, like the bus ads, and I'm like, I want to see that, you know. I didn't get my TV until I was like 11.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, man.
No, I watched it late too. Like I watched it when it was in a syndication.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's what happens sometimes, right? And especially like, again, like a show like Babylon 5, like Mo, you mentioned, where it's like the joint was it was a serialized television show at a time when that wasn't really a thing. You know what I mean? Like most shows, especially considering, you know, it's not like there was no DVR or anything. Like if you were recording stuff, that was like literally a choice you made with your VCR to record something at a specific time.
And then invest because you had to buy tapes to do
it. Exactly. Yeah. Right. So it's like serialized TV wasn't much of a thing because people are like, well, what if somebody misses an episode? And J. Michael Straczynski's like, well, F them then. No, look, obviously, like, he's like the type of person that would miss an episode of my show is not the kind of person I want to be a fan of my show. so there it is.
And you're beyond too, but you know, sometimes that's not enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and previously on, and also too, it's not like even though it's serialized, it's not like J. Michael Straczynski was writing these shows in a vacuum where or he wasn't right. I shouldn't say he wasn't writing it in a way where it's like he's gonna try to catch you up in the episode. Like he's gonna try to make every episode as self-contained as it can be, but it was serialized. And so yeah, man, that's very cool. That's very cool. But I definitely was like watching this animation and just kind of being like, yeah, like I know that character. I know that character. Like, like or at least I remember them, I should say. I can't say I know them because again, I didn't watch enough. But I remember the characters and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I was like, yeah, like I would want to check that out. Like I would like to see what these things look like in live action.
I know some of them look cooler in cartoon than what I've seen in live action.
Most things do. Most things are much cooler in animation than they are in live action. Like going back, it's like one of those things where there was some stuff that happened in Ahsoka where I was like, oh, dude, I did that awesome. Like that point where she went through she jumped out the tower and she messed around and like used her lightsabers and smashed open the like windshield from the thing and jumped. And I was like, oh, that looked awesome. That looked like a comic book panel. That was great. And I'm like, but sometimes that stuff can be very cheesy looking in live action, So, but yeah, man. I will say that I do feel like I'm not, and this is something that I wish Oz was here for, but I felt like the animation wasn't always great. In the movie, like it wasn't like terrible by any means. It just there were some parts that felt like maybe they were. I don't know if they were made first or made earlier, or specifically. I know that when they got to the point where the reality where the moon was getting pushed into the earth, like some of that flooding was like kind of weird looking. But I understand water is hard to animate. So I guess you got to give some people a pass to a degree, but at the same time, I was just like, oh, that's noticeably different.
Like the like opening like conversation that he's having, like the president and his wife, right?
Yeah,
having I feel like that animation really was super clean and like it's like 3D but 2D, and I felt it was, as you watch it, you feel that that's for a reason. So I feel like they put a little extra work in that, and then later it slowly not deteriorated, but it went into the more traditional 2D.
Yeah,
but I don't even see that as a bad point. Like that's just like how we talked about the Hellfire Gala last week. Like they had different artists, and it's
right.
And this is kind of how this is. It's like certain moments look different because the dialogue in it, what's happening in it, is a little different.
Right.
It carries more weight.
That's true. That's true. But all in all, I know for me, I felt the story was super solid, and it definitely gave me the feeling like, okay, like this is definitely accessible to those of us that aren't hardcore Babylon 5 fans, but it felt like something that was definitely like, if you are a hardcore Babylon 5 fan, you're probably like, this is actually really cool. Really like
for some reason you avoided Babylon 5 or didn't get to it, but you like Battlestar Galactica or Star Trek. Like this is for you too. Like it's
right.
You could obsess over it.
Yeah. And like, I mean, honestly, it's really wild just because I feel like the Babylon 5, I mean, obviously it's something that people really associate with Straczynski.
Mm-hmm.
And as big of a fan as I am of his storytelling in like a whole bunch of, well, I guess maybe primarily comics.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I love reading his books. Like his comics are awesome to me. Whether you're talking about like, the stuff that he's done like for Marvel, or whether you're talking about the stuff he did on his own imprint with like the Read at Joe's. Yeah. It's like, Joe's Comics. Yeah. And I just love that little like diner sign, like Read at Joe's. Like I love that. And like it's like I just like his execution and his philosophy. And so it's like one of those things where like I'm sure I would love Babylon 5 if I took the time to actually just watch it all. But I just haven't done it yet. So I feel like this will be the catalyst.
With Straczynski, like one of the things I like about reading his books is all the characters have like a unique voice. So when you're reading them, whether it's comics, like they all look different, but they all have distinguishing factors or quirks or and when a show like Star Trek, like they have that, but I feel like that's a little more formulaic. Okay, you need a random alien here, but with even in this movie, it feels with more purpose. And I know that was a thing you told me about Babylon 5 before. The same dude that showed me G Savior when I worked at the record store. He loved Babylon 5, and he's like, yeah, like it's just every character, like there's no alien is random. Like there's a reason, and they sound different, they talk different. And it almost reminds me of Mass Effect too. Like so I'm like, this is tight. Like can we get an RPG that's not an RPG with a lot of shooting at a Babylon 5?
It's too funny, man.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody got anything else they want to say about Babylon 5, The Road Home, before we rate it?
No, I think
all right.
I'm good. Yeah.
Let's do it. Jay, what would you rate Babylon 5, The Road Home?
I would give it a 5 out of 5. It's just fun. It's good to look at. Very nostalgic. I had a really good time watching it. Like,
there it is. 5 out of 5. Moses Magnum, what would you rate Babylon 5, The Road Home?
Look, it's in the name too, man. 5 out of 5. It's because it really like it's a self-contained story with something that has a big base to it. and it still succeeds at it. The writing's good. Straczynski's good. I love his writing already, and I can like what I like about him in comics, whether it's Spider-Man or Twilight Zone comics. Like I get here, and it's his creation. He's not dealing with somebody else's creation, and I can see his craft in here. And the execution, the animation was solid. Like it had a little bit issues that could have been the internet lagging or something. I noticed a little bit of mouth syncing was a little off, but it could have been the internet working weird or whatever. So I'm not gonna like knock it off for that because I didn't notice it till like 10 minutes before it ended. So if it was happening already, I didn't notice it because I'm captivated by this. And the adventure, like when you talk about like space opera, like this is a really good modern space opera. When you think of space opera, you think more older things and outdated things a little bit. And even with Ahsoka too, like that one feels like more of a space opera too. Like old Star Wars. So and it was a good pairing for that here this week for what we're doing. On top of that, I didn't watch Rebels and I didn't watch Babylon 5, so I got to watch these. For me in my life, it fits perfectly. And definitely, like, look, I'm talking about me dozing off during Ahsoka. I didn't doze off during Babylon 5, The Road Home. Yeah.
There it is. I would give it a 4.5. Only because I think, like the little nitpick with the animation here and there or whatever. But realistically, like I feel like that score might even just be me. Like it might be on me for not having watched Babylon 5. Like if I watch Babylon 5, probably a 5 out of 5. So, but I'll say 4.5. It was great. Like I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I'm good. Like I said, I'm going to watch it again. I think once I finish Babylon 5, which it's inspired me to actually go back and watch that series.
You can watch it for free on Tubi. They have all seasons on Tubi.
Oh, nice.
So you're gonna have to deal with commercials, but it's there.
Got it.
I was thinking of just putting down the DVD box sets.
I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah.
Derek H is in chat. Says 5 out of 5, but Ahsoka gets a 1.
I mean, did you watch Babylon 5: The Road Home? Like, can you adequately compare the two?
Especially with something that has a base. What is it? Rebels had how many seasons? 5?
I don't think so. I think it's more like 3 or 4.
Okay, but you have
I could be wrong.
You have a good amount of seasons as a base for what you're watching, and if they execute it better, the next chapter or the next thing they give you, they execute it better. Now, Ahsoka has the working against it that they're trying to do a show and try to go forward, and they needed to succeed like that. With Babylon 5, again, it's like he gave you one story. It's like this, you're gonna get this. Maybe in another 10 years or so, you'll get something else. But it has a finite ending, and I think that works in its favor.
Yeah, 4 seasons of Star Wars Rebels. Yeah, 75 episodes. So, all right, let's do some final thoughts and get out of here. There we go. Yeah, Jay, final thoughts.
I know I was mentioning this before the show earlier, but I didn't mention it on the show. But it takes 8 babies to equal the caloric content of an adult. So I know that, now you do too.
Don't ask him how he knows.
The more you know.
The more you know. Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
Yeah, watch Babylon 5 on Tubi. Watch us here on YouTube and or Twitch too. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Like all you Derek H, Tiger Claws, the people in chat, just hit a like, and that'll help us a lot. Just with that, we've been doing that, and we've been growing slowly, and we got some stuff coming later from Long Beach Comic Con in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. You're gonna only know about that if you like, subscribe, and hit the bell, so you know when it's up.
There it is. There it is. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We'll be back next week. So do what Mo says. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. Friggin' like and subscribe if you haven't already. We do appreciate the support. Until next week, we are the Fantastic Forum. Good night.